We're down at D.C. with New York Rocks. We're here with the firefighters here, and let's everybody say their names. Go ahead. What's your name?
Robert Zalacio from Engine 266.
Steve Conklin, 266.
Okay.
Dan Noonan, Ladder 9.
First of all, I want to thank you very much for coming down here and supporting everything and being a part of it. Let's talk about your experiences with what's happening and what's going on with you guys.
Well, here we go again.
Right.
We're down here again to get the Zadroga bill passed. Congress is playing games and dragging their feet. And for myself, I have cancer. I have glioblastoma. My doctor gave me 12 to 18 months to live. And here I am 6 months later after my diagnosis, begging Congress to vote yes on the Zadroga bill. It's disgraceful that those who vote no vote no.
How can they turn their back on everybody? They're American, aren't they?
It's unbelievable that they're playing games with people's lives.
Right.
I'm very thankful for the Zadroga bill. It has helped me immensely. It has helped my family, and for the last 6 months, it has helped me, and I feel very proud that America did pass the Zadroga bill. Now I find out that it expired, and here I am in Washington begging Congress to vote yes on the Zadroga bill. And I'm here with my colleagues, and we're going through Congress. We're going through Congress, and we're going through the Senate for them to vote yes. The Senate is voting yes. It's Congress that we have to get to vote yes.
Why is it you think that you have to fight? Why should you have to fight for this it should be a permanent thing? And why you have to keep coming back here? You're obviously you're very sick. I've seen you down here many times before. You know, you had a walker and now you're walking. It's a miracle. I know you went for operation.
I'm a little embarrassed to be in the wheelchair or with a walker with a cane. I do feel it, and I am a fighter. And that's why I am here, because I am a fighter. I was here in the very beginning before it was Zadroga. I'm here afterwards, and I'm here today. And hopefully we'll get this passed because Americans are fighters, okay? And just like the senator said and the congressman said, there's no reason why we shouldn't have it.
Right.
And
we're allowed to say God bless America, right?
God bless America. Of course we are. Of course we are. And God is watching us. So please vote yes, Congress. God is watching you.
Well, thank you very much for speaking with me. How about your thoughts on here today and what you guys have to go through? It's horrible. You know, my friend, he was in 9/11. He passed away. Good friend of mine. But go ahead.
I think it's pretty well documented that the program, the way it works, is working, and you know, it seems like the senators are saying there is funding for black lung for our coal miners and people working nuclear power plants and people exposed to radiation. The question of funding shouldn't really be there. I mean, to hold this up in committee, it's extraordinary when you have a filibuster-proof legislation and you have one individual holding it up and trying to water it down or cheapen it down or make it worth. You know, I know too many people. I'm here with Robert all the time, and you know, cancer drugs are extremely expensive, and you know, people are going to have to choose to just die earlier because there's not going to be the aid they need.
If it's not passed.
If the legislation is not passed.
I know my father had cancer, and the union and his job didn't pay for it all. We had to get it from a different source.
That's correct, and like you say, it's also 9/11 was an extraordinary event where doctors and scientists and people, you could actually create that which they are doing through the health program, creating a database and actually see what happened here and see what kind of people and the injuries and the illnesses and, like you said, the cancers that are unique.
And you were down there for a while, right?
I was down there with Robert on 9/11. He was setting up the water mains to draft water out of the East River. All the water mains are broken. He was there setting up manifolds to draft water out of the East River. And by the time the morning came around, conjunctivitis in both eyes, my lungs are scarred, the breathing, sleep apnea.
That's not a normal thing.
When you're coughing up blood that day, the guys who were there that first 96 hours were extraordinary exposure. And, the North Tower alone had 250 tons of asbestos in it. So when these buildings come down, there's plenty of evidence if you read.
Besides the mercury in the light bulbs and everything else.
Right. Well, your litmus test is even the little children in Chinatown are all having asthma at an alarming rate. So all the indicators are there. To not give people the help they need is just absolutely despicable. They say if you see something, say something. Right. Well, I see something, and I see somebody sitting in this building here that are just.
Now, what happens? Let's say if you guys are needed again to go down, another catastrophe, another tragic event happens, another event that the first responders need to respond in. What's going to happen? What's going to happen then? And your thoughts on that?
I don't think we don't need there really probably should be a federal program that we don't need somebody to just create something overnight to deal with acts of terrorism committed by foreign people in this country. There should be something in place.
I could tell you one thing: if there was an emergency and something went down, you guys would be there for us. I know that.
Absolutely. We don't turn back when people need help. It's instinctive for firemen and police officers to do that.
Okay. We got a gentleman here. Well, let's hear from him. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on this whole fiasco that's going on? Go ahead.
My thoughts are simply I'm dumbfounded. I just can't figure it out. It's everybody's perplexed on this. When you have 243 members of the House, 65 senators, the people of the country, this is not a New York-centric bill. We had firefighters from all over the country, first responders, for weeks and months thereafter, even at our funerals. It was continuous and it never stopped. All of these districts, and they're all involved in the World Trade Center health program.
So they're like they're turning their back on their own people too.
Absolutely, on their own. And how a handful of these representatives can put this roadblock up for these hundreds of other people and the thousands of people who need this program. Please, we urge them to reconsider.
He has to come up here, and he's very ill, and he keeps coming up here. I mean, what does it take for these guys to understand that this can't happen?
I can't understand why they will not recognize this. Maybe they need a day at Sloan Kettering Cancer Center with Skip here to see the therapy they go through and the legions of other folks who are all ill and dying and terrible disease. And the science is there. The science is solid. Is solid. So why they don't recognize this, to identify it and say, we're going to sign on, and yes,
get this done permanently.
We're going to bring you off the battlefield.
Right.
And I'm fearful that this could be a precedent for what happened in Paris last weekend. If this was to happen here in our country again, and it was to be chemical or biological, and what would happen to the first responders? Is Congress once again going to say, oh, we're going to turn our back on you? No, so please, we urge them, do it, get it done, and get it done now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, would you like to say anything else to tell everybody over here? Come over here a little bit.
God bless America from the response for first responders.
You can't give up. You have to continue to fight, right?
God bless the Zadroga Act, and hopefully we'll get it passed.
Thank you very much, guys. God bless you all, and keep the fight. Keep fighting. We're gonna keep fighting here. We're not gonna give up. We're gonna fight to the end, and we're not gonna let this go away. It's not gonna go away. They want it to go away, but we're not gonna let it go away. All right. Thank you very much. So support the Zadroga bill, and let's pass it permanently and end this thing, man. These guys need the help. They were there for us. We have to be there for them. Okay? Thank you.